Today we're going to start talking about cells, so make sure that you've got your notes out, make sure that you're following along. Not everything that is in your notes is actually going to be written on the slides, so make sure that you're listening to what I have to say. Let's begin by talking about what a cell is. It's the basic unit of living things. We've talked about that over and over and over again. And if you take a look, this right here is a picture of what Robert Hooke, the man who discovered cells, saw in 1665. This is cork, and he shaved it down real small, used a microscope, and he saw these little tiny boxes, and he said, man, those boxes look a lot like the cells that a monk sleeps in. So he called them cells. And over the years, scientists have developed a cell theory. It has three parts. The first part says that all organisms are composed of one or more cells. Secondly, the cell is the basic unit of structure and organization of organisms. And finally, all cells come from pre-existing cells. We can't just suddenly get a new cell. So I really like learning about cells because it's a lot of memorization. I'm really good at that. If you're not, I suggest that you make flashcards. You need to know what the basic structure and function of each organelle is that I've talked to you about today. So first up, we have the cell wall. The cell wall can be found in plant cells and also in bacteria or prokaryotic cells. They provide shape and protection. They're found outside the cell membrane. So this is a cell wall, this is a membrane. So notice it's on the outside. A lot of times in plants, they're going to have cellulose. We're going to talk a lot more about that later. Plasma membrane, we've talked about a lot already. It controls what goes in and out of the cell. Remember, it's selectively permeable or semi-permeable. It's a single membrane layer. Plasma membrane is found in all three types of cells, bacteria, plants, and animals. The nucleus is found in plants and animals. It houses DNA and it controls all cellular activities through that DNA. So it's kind of like the brain or the boss of the cell. It has a double membrane, so it's doubly protected. It needs to be protected because it's got all that important information in it. And it has these nuclear pores that are going to allow RNA out of the nucleus. And whenever we start talking about molecular genetics, we're going to learn a lot more about that RNA. Cytoplasm is found in all three types of cells. It's basically just some gooey jelly stuff that cushions the organelles, dissolves some molecules, and just kind of hangs out and holds everything in place. The mitochondria is found in plants and animals. It's the powerhouse. Think of mighty mitochondria. It makes ATP. ATP is energy. So every time we hear the word ATP, we think energy. And it does that through cellular respiration. So the main goal of cellular respiration is to make energy, or ATP. It's a double membrane. So if you look here, we've got one smooth membrane on the outside, and then we've got this wrinkled membrane on the inside. It's folded. That provides a lot more surface area for that cellular respiration to take place so that we can make more ATP. Ribosomes are found in all three types of cells. Their job is to synthesize proteins. They're tiny, there's lots of them, and they're not membrane bound. So that tells us that they're going to be found in all three types of cells. Chloroplasts are found in plant cells. Their job is photosynthesis. So there's a lot of chloroplast in a leaf. That's what makes them green. They're a double membrane, so you see there's an outer and an inner membrane. They have chlorophyll inside of them, and they also have some ribosomes and some DNA. Then we have the vacuole, okay? This is something that you need to write in your notes. There are no vacuoles in bacteria. If there are vacuoles in animals, they're tiny and there's lots of them. And in plants, there's one and it's really big. And their job is to store stuff. In plants, they usually store water. In animals, they're going to store waste and nutrients. Its structure is it's just a big old membrane sac. It's like a balloon hanging out inside the cell. Lysosomes are found in plant and animal cells. They help to break down molecules and also old organelles. They help get rid of stuff. They help clean up. Think lyso, lysol. So they clean up waste. They're a membrane sac with some digestive enzymes in them. So you see they've got these enzymes that are going to come together with this food vacuole and they're going to break down that food. All right, flagella. Flagella are usually found on animal cells. and also on plant cells, and they provide locomotion or movement. It's a tail. So think about a sperm cell. This is a sperm cell. What do you see? You see a tail. And then cilia, they're kind of silly. They're like hairs sticking out. There's usually a lot of them. They're found on bacteria and also on animals. They allow movement of fluids across the cell. They can also help with movement, but not usually as much as the flagella. So that's it for today. You can see that our next set of notes is going to be on cell classification. If you have any questions, make sure that you ask me. Make sure that you filled out all your notes and you've worked on that vocab. I'll see you guys soon.